Good morning to everyone out there in the bounce method world. All right, so I'm feeling a little philosophical today, and I've decided I'm going to have a conversation with my old self. That young 20-year-old who really didn't know what was going on in the world. And I wanted to go back and kind of tell him some things that I felt like were really important in order to ensure that he gets to moving along correctly, right? Number one, stop waiting until you feel ready. You are never going to feel ready in any scenario. Perfect example is the real estate. One of the first things that I started doing was single family homes, and it was because I was afraid to go bigger or go after the thing that I actually really wanted to do, which was the multifamily. Had I been willing to jump in and take that chance first, I would have definitely stopped myself from wasting numerous years. I mean, 2, 3, 4 years working on small things, making a few $100s a month or, a little bit more with a flip. But at the end of the day, don't wait around. Nothing's ever going to be perfect. Get your butt out there and actually get started. Where you start from is not going to determine where you're going to end up. When I was growing up in West Virginia, every single person that I knew there was either going to work at the factory or going to work at the coal mine. Nowhere else. There wasn't one person that I knew that was talking about buying and selling real estate or multifamily or even had the thought in their head of going after something much, much larger. We got to believe in ourselves because there's only one life to live. And if you don't take those chances and you don't go after the things that are out there, you're never going to get there. If you hold on to those old beliefs of, well, this is the best I'm ever going to do. I'm going to turn 18, go work at the factory or go work at the coal mine and forget the opportunities that are sitting out there. Those are the people that I'm seeing on television. You are never, ever going to reach your goals. Number 3, and this one used to be a big one for me. Do not concern yourself with the opinion of others. I have listened to so many opinions in my life, and in the very beginning, there's some of them I'm embarrassed about. So many opinions of saying, "Don't do this," or "This is the right person to hang out with," or "That's never going to work." I literally had 10 to 15 people tell me not to buy that mobile home park when I purchased it, and it ended up being one of my best sells, right? By the time I was done with that, I had built myself a positive education from knowing how to actually flip this mobile home park to having something useful down the road. And that's going to lead myself into the next one. Do not concern or do not believe or confuse that a college education is going to prepare you for the real world education you're going to get. Now, what do I mean by that? I see it in engineering all the time. I hear it from people that read all these books. At the end of the day, you are in a classroom environment and you're sitting in a perfect world. And in that perfect world, you do not have to deal with the customer that's upset or the one thing that just happened to go wrong that you didn't expect, right? The perfect example of that is I did everything I was supposed to do when I was flipping that duplex. I went in, I bought it, I felt good about it, I renovated it, boom, flood hits. You don't talk about those things in education. When you're building a system and somebody and all of a sudden no customer likes it, or you get the feedback that it's not quote unquote what they want, and you're arguing about, hey, it's exactly what I was told it should be. They don't care. You're going to be broke and right. Keep that in mind. Broke and right. Take the risk before life makes the decision for you. Here's what I mean by that. Let's say you're in a W-2 job and you have all these things that you're wanting to do. Right now, you have a little bit of comfort. Go out there and try these little things. Be a little entrepreneurial. See if you can make it work. What you don't want to do is be completely broke and trying to make these things happen, right? Make sure that you take risk when it's feasible or when you have a little bit of cushion to work through those things. Choose over ownership over comfort. Okay, so I just talked about getting in there, taking a little bit of risk when you have the ability to do so. Once you get yourself in position, get out there and take ownership, because what you don't want to do is get stuck in the 9 to 5 grind every single day doing the same thing for 40, 50, even 60 years. Is that the life you want to live? I don't think so. Okay. Learn to communicate, learn to lead. If you can't talk to others, you're going to always be suffering. You've got to be able to communicate. You've got to be able to work through issues. You've got to be able to actually lead in a situation where it's a little bit painful. Don't be the person that's the negative Nancy and can't get through those things because you're too worried about trying to prove that you're right. Okay. The only way you're ever going to be successful, listen to the issue, work through the issue, communicate with others, and lead through the problem. Okay. Protect your reputation more than your ego. You know, I've messed this up a couple of times, and I'm sure everybody out here has done the same thing, but we've got to protect it. We have got to make sure that people know when we say we're going to do something, we're actually going to do it. Okay. And just like I said, I've made mistakes in the past. I had one where I had spoken to a broker, and he had sold me a property, and I likely should have went through him for the resale, but I didn't. And I still look back on that and wish that I had done what I believe to be the right thing. Failure is feedback. It's okay to fail. You're not really failing if you're still continuing towards your goal. If you say you're going to buy this property, then if if you've went through 100 properties and they're not working out and you finally find one, at some point you're going to make it happen. But you can't look at those denials or the people coming back and telling you they can't do it as a failure. It's just taking the next step to get to where you want to be. Keep your circle with people you trust. To me, this is a big one. Okay. They say you are the sum of the 5 people that you hang out with. I don't necessarily agree with that, but I will say this. When someone breaks your trust, they're out of your circle, right? They're out of your circle. Anybody that's in your circle needs to be somebody that you trust and is going to have your back. If you don't know that, it doesn't matter who they are. They need to be outside of your circle. And last but not least, build systems instead of depending on motivation. Look, I can get pretty amped up, pretty motivated at times, but I know I have systems in place to run my properties, and I know they're going to be okay at the end of the day, because there will always be a struggle. Think through all of those things, take them with you, and I hope by the time you actually reach my age again, that things are coming along quite well for you. I 100% believe in everything I just said. Talk to you later. Bye.